Well, why don't we get started? I'll keep monitoring those who are coming in and ensure that they get caught up to speed. But we want to thank you for joining us today. The Mahoning County Educational Service Center wanted to invite Nick Ryder, and we'll introduce him in a moment here, to speak to our area in the Mahoning County, as well as other county areas and districts who might want more information about how to start an esports team. We started this conversation back in our area with administrators in November. I had attended a session with Nick, and I brought that information back, and there was quite a bit of an interest. So what we wanted to do is set up a time for Nick to kind of share everything that his organization has put together and help all of you that are interested in starting a esports program. So with us tonight is Nick Ryder. He is a Cary Exempted Village Tech Director, as well as the founder of Esports Ohio. I don't want to read a long list because I met Nick and have been working with him the last couple of months. I could tell you his favorite video games, but it's probably best that Nick kind of introduce himself. But we couldn't be more happy to have him here to speak to our local districts and districts near and far about what it takes to get an esports program up and running so that your students have some engagement in their daily. So without further ado, I am going to open up Nick's presentation and let Nick take over the show. Nick, did you want to present?
Sure, I can present. No big deal.
Let me stop sharing, and you have permissions.
Sounds good.
Heck of a lot easier.
We'll do that. All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. Like John said, and John and Andrew, thank you so much for inviting me to come talk to everyone today. Super excited to get the word out and kind of answer some questions today. So thank you for being with me. Like John said, I've got a lot of titles. I wear a lot of hats, just like everyone else in education right now. I work for Cary Exempted Village Schools in Northwest Ohio. It's a small rural school district. I'm the tech coordinator for that school, as well as teaching a prep. And I'm also the esports coach for our high school. And now with the pandemic, I'm also our head streamer for all of our athletic events and sporting events and musicals and whatever we can do since we're not in session full time. I'm also the founder and president of Esports Ohio and helped Rhodes State College develop a new esports management and coaching certificate program at the college level, and I help teach that as well. And I work with NASIF out in Orange County, California. They're the North American Scholastic Esports Federation, and they help align curricular resources to esports and esports initiatives throughout the entire education space. So I'm an overall tryhard, basically. So what is Esports Ohio, if you don't already know? We're a 501c3 nonprofit organization that was started by teachers for students. We do competitions mainly, but we also are branching out into scholastic resources as well. And we're dedicated to providing those resources to students and schools for free. Everything that we do, you'll notice there is no charge for students and there is no charge for schools whatsoever. We're just a passionate group of folks who want to create these opportunities for students. So our vision is to embrace electronic sports or video games as a positive educational change agent for students in their development. So we're going to do that by providing you guys, educational institutions, with the knowledge, direction, support, and resources to implement and maintain and educate as well as compete in electronic sports. And we're going to do that through the resources that we've developed with the help from schools who've already done it and with our college and industry partners that we've developed over the last 3 years. So some of our goals that we have right here, I'll make sure my bar is not in the way here. Maybe. There we go. Sorry about that. Our goals are to increase those extracurricular involvements. One of the most proud stats that I have to share with you guys today is that 75% of our 2,600 kids that competed in the spring, this is the first time they've ever competed in any sport. So these are students in a demographic that have not been reached before. We're also working hard to provide those curricular ties and to promote a positive outlook on gaming in schools and gaming culture. Because as we all know, gaming can be toxic, there's no doubt. So we need to help change that. And we're going to develop those social and soft skills in students by doing that and prepare them for future careers. Esports and video games, there are so many career opportunities and secondary education pathways that are crafted through this, and we're trying to harness those as well as the competitive future as well. And then we're going to connect students with those collegiate opportunities because Ohio is the hotbed of esports and universities right now. We have so many universities throughout the state that are offering real scholarship dollars for our students, competitively and scholastically. So just a quick look at the research from NASIF. We know that video games and learning improves visual acuity. It fosters that scientific reasoning, accelerates language learning, strongly associated with technology fluency. It improves that digital print literacy and increases problem-solving skills. It's also even associated with higher math achievement. And we know from sports are great. I played traditional athletics growing up, and we know that those also are associated with higher GPA, fosters that personal growth and satisfaction with being part of a school. And it also is associated with that higher degree completion and overall persistence that we want to be, developed in our young people. So we put them together. You've got esports, you've got competitive video games. So that's what they are. Esports are just electronic sports. That's all they are. They're competitive electronic games of strategy and discipline that can be played individually or as a team. Now we structure all of our esports with Esports Ohio in team play. So some of our games that are individual, like for example, Super Smash Bros., we structure it similar to tennis or golf, where they're played in teams of 5, and a best of 5 takes the competition. So like in tennis, your ones player ones, twos player twos, so on and so forth for a team effort to work together and to work on those strategies. So the reason they're so popular is because there are so many genres and so many different kinds of competitive games out there that they appeal to the masses, adults and students. So this slide's huge. I broke every design rule in slide making when I made this, but just to put a little overview on what's happening in 2020, 2021, Tiffin University in our area, we were able to have a fall finals last fall before COVID hit, and we had 500 folks attend to watch. We had over 120 student competitors, the best in the state. We had several collegiate scouts there offering scholarship opportunities on site. It was one heck of a tournament. It was a great, just a great, amazing experience. And we're hoping to get back to that here in spring, pending COVID. But since then, it's blown up. Ohio State's dropped an 85 gaming station lab in the first floor of Lincoln Tower. They're developing a collegiate degree in esports as well. The largest arena was built in Tiffin University 4 years ago, which got the conversation started of feeding those programs. And there's 13 universities in Ohio as of 2020. I haven't updated it yet this year that offer real scholarship dollars to your students competitively and scholastically. And then the viewership of esports is blown up. It's through the roof. If you've seen, some of the Overwatch League coverage on NBC or ESPN, you'll see that the League of Legends championship in 2017 was only second to the Super Bowl. It actually had more viewers than the NBA Finals, which was just crazy. So things are blowing up. Most recently, that's not even on here, the MAC conference has created the first collegiate esports conference, and we have several MAC schools in and around Ohio that will all have esports teams that already do and are continuing to develop. One of those is the University of Akron, which will be hosting our state championship this year pending COVID, and they are 4-time National Rocket League champs, and they have over 2,200 student participants between their competitive and student life esports offerings on campus. So real quick, what do we offer from Esports Ohio compared to some of the national orgs like PlayVersus or HSEL? We offer 8 titles, and we offer 2 seasons a year in those 8 titles. We offer those education and curricular resources free of charge, all of our getting started resources. We've got an amazing Discord community that we've built up online. In esports, Discord is king. It's used for everything for communication wise. And we have several coaches that are struggling to do the same things that you wanted to do right now with building programs. And they're a great community to bounce ideas off of, figure out how to get funding, whether it be how to run your tryout, how to whittle down a large list of student interests. All of those are topics that are discussed daily on our Discord. We also provide local connections to those university and industry partners. We do love to celebrate our kids with academic and competitive recognition, like an all-Ohio list similar to OHSAA. And we provide several scholarship opportunities and student program prizing. Just 3 weeks ago at Rhodes State, we gave away a free complete tuition scholarship to the new esports management program down there through a Super Smash Bros. Tournament, and it was awesome. And then the week before that, we did a Rocket League combine with the University of Akron, and we had 12 universities present offering positions on university teams at that time. So very cool. So our competition looks like 2 seasons each year. You can compete in one or both, take it or leave it. Esports is choose your own adventure. You can compete in as few or as many titles as you'd like to. And we structure them in accordance with OHSAA's calendar, and we follow fall and spring sports. So that way, if you have a student who competes, in traditional athletics one season, but maybe not the other, they have an opportunity to play throughout the year. Plus, it gives some time off in the winter to regroup and make sure you're hitting that pause button. So we also offer postseason tournaments, state championship tournaments, extra credit tournaments, regional and national opportunities to compete. For example, we just did a Overwatch championship between the best team in Ohio versus the best team in Michigan in lieu of the Ohio State-Michigan football game, because that didn't happen this year. So that was kind of our consolation. And of course, Ohio won, like we always do. So it was great. We do collegiate combines, like I said, and summer and off-season opportunities for play as well. And on the scholastic side of things, we have a fully aligned ELA 9 through 12 esports curriculum. So it's basically an esports flavored ELA for grades 9 through 12 that are completely aligned to ODE standards. We crosswalk them from the California standards with our partner, the Past Foundation out of Columbus. So if you're an English teacher or know of an English teacher who likes to try new things, we have that available for you as well. I'm also a NASIB Scholastic Fellow, and there's a giant library of free curricular resources of how to implement this in different curricular outcomes. So whether it's a club, whether it's a tech elective, whether it's a math class, there's several teachers who have already implemented things like this that you can use at your disposal. And right now we're in the midst of developing a new social emotional learning club curriculum for students to how to react when you get frustrated, how to make sure you don't get tilted or be toxic, and how to properly communicate online and remote play situations to help develop the whole person. Because like I said, most of our students, they're a demographic of kids that have never had that teamwork, collaboration, communication. Those soft skills have not yet been developed. So it's very important to make that a part of what we're teaching throughout our competitions. We also do beyond the game challenges of like social media marketing, design, logo creation, jersey design, shoutcasting, student broadcasting, and we offer high school and collegiate internships and partnerships. So tons of information. So why would you want to start an esport at your high school? Well, it reaches the entire student population. We talked about this. There's tons of games that they can choose. If you just send out the survey to your high school or your middle school or whatever, you'll find out that it will instantly probably be your biggest club that you have in your district immediately. It also provides that outlet for those students who aren't involved in anything to get involved in something. It gives people who don't have a place, finally a place to get involved with school. It also helps develop those soft skills we were talking about, those teamwork, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, social awareness, networking, community involvement, blah, 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 endless things that students who don't participate in things don't get. So this helps that. And the student interest is huge. This whole conversation started with me and a few area tech coordinators visiting Tiffin University, seeing the collegiate opportunities after we were racking our brains, walking around the hallways, finding all these kids. All they do in study hall on their Chromebooks is watch other people play Fortnite on YouTube. It's like, what? These kids are watching other people play video games. What's going on? So that is the interest. That's where these kids are, and we're trying to harness that in a positive way. And on top of that, there's university opportunities for some of these students who might not have ever thought about going to college. They have collegiate opportunities with scholarship money for competitive and for support. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be really good at pressing buttons or playing the games. It could be you're a dynamite shoutcaster that has, color commentary that of Bob Euchre, and you can get in there and call a League of Legends game. So we have outlets for all kinds of people. These are just the ones that we put together last year when we made this slide. So this list is almost doubled this year. So how do you get started? You just need a passionate adult. That's all you need. You just need somebody in your district to say, I'm going to do this. And then we've done most of the work for you through our website. We've created the student interest survey. We've created a getting started coaches packet. We've made a step-by-step equipment list. We've got a firewall filtering rule set you can give to your IT staff to open up the ports to make sure that your Nintendo Switch can play, to make sure your computers can get out to the different games that you need to get done. We've made the minimum requirements list. It's all done for you. We just need that passionate adult. Now, that adult doesn't have to be somebody who's a gamer or crazy with their game knowledge or plays competitively themselves, but it does have to be somebody who can corral kids, because we talked about these students have never done anything like this before. So they're going to need guidance. They're going to need people to lay down kind of the expectations and let them know, hey, this is a team. You're part of something. You need to show up. You need to be responsible, and we're going to do this. That's more important than knowing, strategy of playing League of Legends or the best character to play in Smite or something like that. So how does it work in high school? It's the most flexible program. You could have 3 kids in your program. You could have 300 kids in your program. It's up to you. Our smallest game is Rocket League. And to compete in Rocket League, you only need 3 players. And you can play that on console or PC. But you could have up to 4 teams in 8 different games. So you could have a tremendously large program as well, on top of club games yourself. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's the most flexible. It can be a club, it can be a club sport, it can be a varsity sport, and it can also be offered as a course at your school. So it's completely flexible. Choose your own adventure. And there's no travel requirements. As of right now, all of our tournament structures are played completely online. From the campus is what we usually like to do, but we've developed remote play guidelines for the nature of the world right now. So there is remote play opportunities to where you can play from your home if you have that, as long as the coach shows proper oversight. We've got all those kind of guidelines developed and written up on our website. So right now, our grade levels and ages to compete in the Esports Ohio High School League is 13 and up. That meets all COPPA requirements for creating online accounts, and it also is age appropriate for all the games that we play. We don't play any mature rated games. So anything 17 over, that kind of stuff, we frown away from that because it doesn't reflect our values and it doesn't reflect the base of student that we serve. So if we're letting 13-year-olds compete, we don't want to open up the doors to Rainbow Six Siege where it's 17 up and it's terrorists, anti-terrorists, people shooting people. We're shying away from those games to reflect our values. So you can also structure your program 2 different ways. You can say, hey, we're going to be ultra competitive. We're going to make this part of the athletic department. We're going to operate it as a varsity sport, and we are going to do that in these games. Or you could do that in one game. And then you could also have rec and gaming clubs as well, to where, hey, we're not so diehard that we're going to come in, but I've got like 10 kids that love to play Super Smash Bros. And I'd love to set up, a rec esports gaming club where they can come in and play against some other teams and compete just like you would for like a rec volleyball league at the Y or something like that. So we offer 4 levels of competition. We offer varsity, junior varsity, and then you can have up to 2 club teams for the rec. You can also run it just as a curricular club where you're doing our beyond the game challenges and curricular things and not even competing at the program. Because we're not OHSAA sanctioned, we have no scrimmaging limitations. So if you join our Discord at any time, whether you're a member or not, you can compete against all of the schools in the state. So that's also very good for getting started. So costs, it's my favorite slide. There's no, there's no money. Doesn't cost you anything. You just need that adult advocate. So the district essentials are that person. And then we recommend 6 PCs with medium to high specs. Will cover every game that we play. If you have 6 PCs, that will cover all of our games. Now, there's also games, we have one game only, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that is played on the console only. It's played on a Nintendo Switch. So we've seen different implementations of hybrid labs where you have a few switches, you have a few computers, you have a few consoles, you have a few computers. It will all depend on the games that you want to play, and that will all depend on the student survey results that you have and what games you want to offer at your school district. So, but to play all of our games, you could do that with one lab of 6 computers and one Nintendo Switch. Now, our student essentials, the cost, all the games that we play, out of all 8 of them, 6 of them are free, and 2 of them cost money. Overwatch is $20, and Super Smash Bros. Is this Nintendo Switch game. It costs that $60, like most console games cost nowadays. And then obviously you can make your arena or your esports lab as cool as you want it to be. You can stock it with gaming chairs, gaming mice and keyboards, custom mouse pads. And of course, you got to have esports jerseys. I mean, come on. We're just like any other sport. You got to rock the merch. You got to make sure that your kids, feel like they're part of a team and look like they're part of a team. And then you can get the custom gaming PCs and then upgrade your live streaming hardware so your students can help broadcast the events. The cool thing about esports is you can broadcast all of your events live with color commentary from your students. Half of my program are support staff. They're kids who don't even play the games, just love watching other people play them and love being part of the program. So some ideas. So here's all of our game lists from 1,000 feet above. Overwatch, we play on PC. It's 6 Windows computers to play that. League of Legends is 5 Windows machines or Mac. Rocket League can be played on console or PC. We love games like Rocket League because they're called cross-platform, which means they can have open lobbies so you can compete. Someone on a computer can play against someone on a console. So you have flexibility in what you do there. Super Smash Bros. Is played on Nintendo Switch only. Hearthstone is the only fully cross-platform game that also works on mobile devices. So if you only have Chromebooks in your district and no labs, you can play Hearthstone on Chromebooks. Fortnite, 6 Windows computers or consoles. Fortnite is also a mobile game. I'm not sure if it loads very well on Chromebooks, but it can be played on consoles and computers very well. And then Valorant is Windows only. And then Smite is our newest addition. We have a good relationship with their publisher. And not only can that be played cross-platform, that also will give our students free add-ons if they sign up for a Smite competition, where they'll receive the God Pack and all the custom skins, which is roughly about $200 of value per student who signs up to play that this spring. So we're pretty excited about that new partnership. So we'll show you some cool examples and some normal examples of just, your esports lab, esports arena. It does not have to be fancy, but it can be. As you can see, the ones on the left, the bottom left and right, those were custom built by students in the program. So students use this as CompTIA A+, Net Plus industry certified credentials as a course. They spec'd and built their machines for the lab. And then on the right, it's just kind of a classroom where they got some gaming PCs and chairs, and there's their starting lineup. They're starting 6, and they play all their varsity competitions out of the corner of a classroom. Here's some more. That was my lab getting started in the bottom left corner. We did not have Windows PCs, so I had to boot camp Mac machines and install Windows on them just so we could play Overwatch, but we made it happen. Since then, we've upgraded a little bit, and our students have built our machines. But as you can see in the top left, there's just a student playing on a TV cart, that was wheeled into the classroom. They're playing Super Smash Bros. So I absolutely love that picture because esports, unlike any other sport, does not matter your biology. You can still compete on the same playing field as everyone else. Absolutely love that. And then you can see some more custom lab machines. Napoleon's in the top right corner. They are actually affiliated through their athletic department. They partnered with Dell, and Dell helped cut them a deal to get some nice gaming machines there. And they do film breakdown. You can see at the end their coach is doing play-by-play up on the TV, and they're reviewing film from the day's previous competition. And then you've got the career tech centers of the world up in Fremont, Ohio, who's got backlighting and blacklighting in their arena, and custom gaming chairs and decals. So you could take it as far as you want, like Akron STEM High School. They've got custom etching. They've got, through one of our partners, Gravity Gaming, who helped them spec and build, I think, their 22-seat lab there. So you can take it as far as you want. So we talked any school in the state of Ohio, any student in the state of Ohio, 13 years and older can participate. And we're also doing a middle school pilot this season. So if you're interested in doing things with middle school, let me know. And we will get you set up with our middle school pilot person to get you onboarded. Also, student eligibility. Now, we make our eligibility as a league very low because we want to use esports is that change agent for students that might be struggling as kind of a way to get them back on track. But we definitely recommend you using that as a gateway to get them in the program, and then elevating that level of requirement to what fits, your district's requirements. Just like OHSA, your minimums may be different than the league minimums. And then our games. Everybody always asks about, why do we play the games we play? Why were these games chosen? We put careful consideration in the games that we play. We try and align them with the clientele that we have to make sure they're age appropriate. And then we also want to make sure that we hit a wide range of genres. And then we want to make sure that the titles also align with collegiate pathways and pro pathways, so we're developing in the right direction. So, and also they need to be an esport. They need to be a competitive game. So right now we play Smite, Rocket League, Overwatch, Super Smash Bros, Hearthstone, Fortnite, Valorant, League of Legends. And they hit all these next level, the MOBAs, the first person shooters, the fighting games, the sports, but they all do it at an age appropriate level. So just very quickly, we'll go through the games. You can look at all this stuff afterwards in the presentation. All this is available on our website as well. Rocket League used to cost $20, but a month ago it went free to play. And if you want to get started squeaky clean, this is the least, I guess, objectionable game out there. It's simply soccer with cars. Anyone 8 years old and older can play it. It's played in teams of 3, and we play it in a best-of-5 series. And it's one of our most popular, and there's lots of collegiate school opportunities in this game. Next one is Overwatch. It is one of our first-person shooter type games, but it is age appropriate at 13 and up. It's played in teams of 6. It's very popular. And instead of, the bloody violence of people shooting people, it's one of the characters is a hamster in a ball, to give you some kind of backstory. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a fighting game. It's your favorite beloved Nintendo characters playing in a Street Fighter type brawler. And it's played on Nintendo Switch only. That's the one we were saying. It's played in teams of 5, 1 versus 1 all the way down. Everyone knows Fortnite. Fortnite is that third-person type shooter game in a cartoon atmosphere. It is rated teen. I'm sorry, it is rated teen, not everyone. I have this incorrect in here. And it's played in 3 duos, and we've had our students actually create a custom map that our competitions are competed on in here. And Hearthstone is next. Hearthstone is a collectible card game. It's one of our least popular games, but it's also one of our most accessible games, and there are collegiate opportunities in this. This is one of those, you have to be a collectible card game fan to get into Hearthstone, but we definitely like it. It's a fun title. It's a low barrier of entry because you can play it on any device. Valorant is a new one that we tested in the spring. It is an FPS. It's rated teen. It's probably the most controversial one, being that it's still rated teen, but it's teetering on the edge of a realistic shooter. We put it in because it is age appropriate according to the Common Sense Media parent reviews, as well as the teen rating from the ESRB, as well as the alignment with the colleges in the state of Ohio offering it as a collegiate esport. And then our last that we just opened up is Smite. Sorry for the text here. It is free, like most of these games, and all of our players get free God packs for signing up for it. It's played in teams of 5, and it's a MOBA like League of Legends as well. And League of Legends is our last one here. It's a MOBA as well, which is that multiplayer online battle arena played in a team of 5. This one is also free to play. So, when can you start? You can start whenever you want. You can sign up with us now. You don't have to. You can just join our Discord, start in the conversation, do some scrimmaging, ask coaches questions. The only thing that we require from schools is a membership application with approval from a building administrator to say, hey, yes, we have a competent person that we sign off to be the advisor, and I back this as the administrator of my school. That way we do some vetting through your NCES building number to make sure that you in fact are a school, that you are eligible to compete. And then you're in, and then you can start the onboarding process, looking through our resources, like our eligibility list for seasons to make sure your teams, your students are signed up, your coaching application is done, and then your coaching course is completed. So we are here to help. Some of our stats, we've got it blown up a little bit. Last spring before COVID hit, these were our numbers. Roughly 2,700 students competed. We had 434 teams registered across our 3 levels of play, and over 200 high schools throughout Ohio are developing programs. So you can see the kind of exponential growth we've seen. Our alpha season, we started with 80 total teams. We've grown to 434 teams last spring, and there's kind of our growth in players as well, the different levels. As you can see, varsity and club, the most popular 2 options, and then JV are for your competitive programs who have overflow. And then my favorite stat is that 75% of our students, it's the first time they've competed in any sport. So tons of getting started resources available. Our website has all this stuff on it. It's free. It's got introductory videos. The Discord is where all of our communication takes place right here. It's huge. It's chocked full of information. And then follow us on Twitter. All of our updates are out there. We are just a bunch of passionate people. They're passionate about esports. We are throughout the state, different areas, and we're just a volunteer crew of board members, and we now have an official advisory council as well that we've added 3 more people to. So we've expanded quickly and well over the last 3 years, and you can feel free to reach out if you know any of these folks. Shoot them an email. They're all available on the Discord as well. Now I have a few FAQs in here, but first I want to show you just our website, how to navigate it and get the quick information you need. If you want to join our Discord, just click on this button right here and it will allow you to join our Discord. And Discord is just a chat application where we can create our own custom community that is moderated by adults and students to make sure that all the content stays school cool and that your kids are protected. And then we've got our 1-pager here. If you want to share with anybody, Esports Ohio in a 1-page nutshell, trifold. If you want to see the schools that are around you that are competing, you can see we need to fill this area in over here. But hopefully we can after this. This hasn't been updated this fall yet, but I think we've got roughly 150 member school districts now throughout the state. All of our competition guidelines are under competition, and then you'll see the appropriate spring that we're on right now, 2021, and our middle school pilots down here as well. So if you go to spring 2021, we've got our video updates, got our program membership application that you can upload into a Google form. We've got our eligibility checklist for joining in the spring. It's just a quick 6-step process. This is how you ensure that you're eligible to compete if you're one of the teams trying to get in at the last. We have a month basically till February 24th until spring signups are done. This will walk you through step by step on the things you need to get done. Submit the application, get certified as a coach. It's just a Google form test that you can edit and resubmit if you're nervous about any of the questions. It's basically just to know that you know what's going on and you understand the processes. And registering your teams comes next, and then your students after that. And every season we do a preseason coaches webinar where we will take attendance on Twitch or Zoom like this to talk about how the season's going to go, what changes, and if you have any questions. And then after that, you'll scrimmage. And once you're in and you've hit all of these things, we release the entire 8-week schedule before your first week of competition. So you can plan, you can know when you're going to play, so on and so forth. So speaking of knowing when to play, here's what a typical schedule looks like. Our spring schedule, the mandatory coaches meetings on the 24th, the deadline's the 26th, and then we'll have a 7-week season that feeds into a postseason that will feed into a finals tournament, hopefully at the University of Akron this spring. And then here's our games and what days we play them on. Mondays are League of Legends and Fortnite. Tuesdays are Overwatch and Hearthstone. Wednesdays are Rocket League and Super Smash Bros. Thursdays are Valorant and Smite. So those are your competition days. You can structure practices however you would like to. And what we do for our competitions to ensure that everyone is, all folks' time is valued, is that we make sure all teams have to play or begin play by, let me open this up for you, by 4 p.m. So competition days of the week are based on your title of the game, and all your games begin by 4 p.m. That way no one's at school till 9 o'clock at night. We realize that esports may not have money in the budget for a stipend the first year. God bless you if you do, and if you're taking this on without one, God bless you as well. We appreciate that for the kids. So we make sure that your time commitment is known well in advance of what these games are. Most games do not take longer than an hour and a half to fully complete, so it's just like a traditional athletic event, sometimes shorter than that for the most part. So that's what the schedule looks like for this year. And like I said, you can compete in one varsity team, one JV team, and up to 2 club teams in each one of these titles. So you could have quite a giant program or quite a small program depending on how much staff you have. Now, if you're a one-man band, I would not recommend trying to do all 8 games. You will go crazy. There's no way you will be able to pull it off. Start small, field your interest on what you have for your students, and go from there. So I am not going to go through all these FAQs because I wanted to leave a lot of time for you to ask me questions about whatever you might want, the thoughts you have on maybe us versus another league, what your thoughts or processes might look like of what you're doing. You can feel free to post them in chat, but one thing I wanted to show you on the website while you're posting some of those into chat, and you can unmute your mics maybe in a little bit, is our resources page has everything that we've went over today. It's got your coaches packet built step by step. It's got your eligibility, your parent-student contract that you can edit, change, make whatever you want for your school districts. All of our stuff is in Google Docs. Most people are familiar with that. It's got your match procedures, how to do recruiting, how to explain esports to your Board of Education, the timelines for the spring, technical requirements to send to your IT staff, as well as this presentation right here. This presentation basically in a Google Doc, your complete coaches packet, everything here, and then your parent participation contract, and so on and so forth. All of our curricular resources are here, parent reviews for games if you have any parents that are leery, and then we have how-to videos for starting matches in each one of our games, as well as how to use Discord and how to use OBS if your students want to record and broadcast your matches live. So we've worked hard to create a lot of these resources at your disposal. It's kind of the value add we bring. And we basically want to build competitive structure and scholastic structure for esports to be successful in the state, to where all of the Mahoning County area schools will be excited to whoop on the school from down the street. So that's our goal. So without further ado, I know I talked a lot. I talked a lot fast. So I want to start fielding some of your questions, some of your thoughts, and we'll go from there.
Nick, we got one question from Kathy. It says, can students compete at the club level? And what's a God Pack?
Great questions. Yes, students can compete at the club level. So when they sign up, like on spring 2021, here's like a student sign up and a coach sign up. So coach will submit a team to compete. They'll put in their email address, their Discord name, all that. Just gonna put this in real quick. And then your sign-ups, you'll pick your school from the drop-down list. You'll choose which game you want to compete in, and then you can choose whether you want to be varsity, JV, or club. So your club level teams will be your rec teams, your varsity will be competitive, and then you can't have a JV without a varsity. So that's our only limitation. Just like traditional athletics, your JV are your reserves, the people who play after that. And a God Pack for Smite or any other MOBA type like that is simply a DLC or downloadable content in the game that will give your players all of the champions to play in that game, all of the gods to play in Smite, as well as some cool skins to wear to make your characters look like, you know, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and things that you normally have to pay extra for and quite a bit extra for. So the publisher partnered with us and they're giving all that stuff away for free to kids that play Smite.
All right, Nick.
Nick, I wanted to ask a question that's kind of related to what you were talking about. If I was a district that had 6 computers, you know, the game I'm playing required 6 computers, can I have 2 teams if one started at 3 and one started at 4, or that's too hard to schedule?
It depends on the amount of players that are on those games. For example, if it was Rocket League, it's only a team of 3, so absolutely. You could have 2 teams playing simultaneously. So that is a good point, Andrea, and one you need to take into consideration when you're planning for your program. Remember, we want to respect everyone's time. So in order to compete, you need to guarantee that you can start by that 4 p.m. guideline. So if you want to host 4 teams on the same day, you're going to need machines that can accommodate that. So for example, if you have an Overwatch team, for say, Overwatch requires 6 computers to play it. So if you have an Overwatch team, and let's see, I want to double check I'm giving you good information here. What plays with Overwatch? Hearthstone. Hearthstone is played in teams of 3, so you would need 9 machines, whether it be 6 computers and 3 consoles, or in this case, Hearthstone could be played on Chromebooks, so you could do 3 Chromebooks and 6 computers. So like Monday, if you wanted to have a League team and a Fortnite team, League is 5, Fortnite is 6. You would need to have at least 11 machines to make that happen. Good question.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Nick, there's another a question and kind of a little bit of a background to it from Randall that says that they just got their program up and running, and they're running it as part of the school day as a curriculum. And they play League of Legends and Rocket League, but the biggest issue is finding teams to scrimmage and play. And would Discord help with this?
Oh, for sure, for sure. If you run League of Legends and Rocket League already, if you haven't joined our Discord server, please do. We have a channel set up in our Discord. I'll see if I can bring it up here. Let's see here, colleges. League of Legends. So, as you can see, on my screen, our Discord server right here has the games and different scrim channels set up in it. So right now you can see League of Legends scrims is a channel right in here. So it looks like on the 11th, Oberlin was looking for a scrim tomorrow. So you can get in here and post, and all of our member school districts will see you in here and say, oh, okay, we've got Randall who's looking for a scrimmage at his high school. Let's try and get somebody in, and then you can DM them directly. That's open to everyone. You don't have to compete in our league. You can just join our server, be part of the community, form relationships, and solicit scrimmages in here on your own, for sure.
We've got another question from Don. It talks about the percentage of students getting offered scholarships.
Ooh, that's a good question. Right now, if you are somewhat good and very dedicated, more than likely you can get a collegiate scholarship. Just because the ecosystem is not fully developed for a pipeline of recruiting, we're helping build that. There are more scholarships than there are people filling them right now. So if you're in one of those areas or you're willing to travel a little bit, I know of a few school districts that knock down our door, this time every year saying, listen, we need to fill our roster. We're looking for a League of Legends gold player. If they're gold, we'll take them. We can lift them up the rest of the way. So if you have people that are dedicated to contributing, time into getting better at that game, I can find you a Division II school that's going to give you some money.
Excellent. Continuing, we got a lot of questions here, Nick. From Joyce, hearing that there's talk of OHSAA possibly becoming the governing body for esports in Ohio, much like traditional varsity sports. Has there been any progress with this?
There has. Unofficially. We've talked with OHSAA a little bit. We know that they just had a transition of a new director to Doug Ute from Jerry Snodgrass. And, they're still kind of stabilizing with COVID, and how things have changed with ticket sales and so on and so forth being non-existent for a season or two. So we are in communications with them. We are friends with them, and they are friends with us. So far, we've been receiving some referrals from OHSAA to Esports Ohio, and we're definitely working together. And hopefully, in the near future, we can partner, or we can work with them and help facilitate their efforts to kind of make esports official in the eyes of OHSAA.
Fantastic. Pam asks, she has 2 teams for Fortnite and like 3 subs. Can she mix up the team makeup? Who is playing on what team each week, or are players locked into a team roster?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. Excellent. So for Fortnite specifically, not specifically, in all games, we usually recommend to have at least 2 substitutes because things happen. Let's face it. These are high school students we're talking about. They might have a dentist appointment, little brother gets sick, has to babysit, things like that. So always carry at least 2 subs if you can, to ensure that you don't have to forfeit, because nothing's worse than a forfeit loss after you've been waiting for a match all week. So make sure you have subs. Your rosters, if they're the same level of competition, like if it's a club team and they're on the club roster, you can mix up lineups. JV is allowed to play up to varsity, much like traditional athletics, but the only limitation we have on rosters is your varsity team cannot play down. So you can't have a varsity stud go then and play on your JV team and start whooping people. I mean, that wouldn't be fair. So the only limitation is we have our varsity team's roster is set. And after the first 2 weeks, on week 3, there is a roster lock for all programs. So if your roster is not stabilized by week 3, you're having other problems, and you might need to get those sorted out. So our roster lock happens at week 3.
Great. Chad is asking, or kind of sharing, that they also have a program up and running. They're running it as a curriculum during the school day as well. Their biggest issue right now is internet and firewalls. They're looking, he said, I will forward the document you gave us to them, and hopefully this will fix it. We also have older computers and the games don't run the best. Do you have any recommendations or know of any programs that offer school discounts?
Yes, very good, very good. Now, if your programs can't run it, I know one game that'll probably work. League of Legends. It's like 10 years old, so it can run on a potato. But for a lot of the games, they do require lot more hardware. One solution may be, if you're playing console-specific games, is to try and secure some consoles to play those games on, like Rocket League, Fortnite. Um, let's look at all our titles here. Fortnite, Hearthstone, Rocket League, Super Smash Bros., and Smite. All of those can be played on console as well. So if you have console availability, that might be a cheaper way to secure some equipment to run those. Um, if you're looking to upgrade your PCs, we have some good friends with NASIF who does some things with some refurbs to where you can get better pricing by using refurb machines that are kind of repurposed for gaming, as well as our partner with Gravity Gaming by Bytespeed. They offer several different tiers of options. For donations of equipment, we don't have large donation providers yet. We're looking to solicit some partnerships with university esports programs to donate us their old equipment as they renew their esports labs. We're trying to specifically get with Ohio State and some of the larger deployments that are on a 3 to 5 year replacement cycle, because those machines, let's face it, will be good for about 10 years. So once we get that, we will share that with all of our member consortium schools. We're just not there yet.
Good information there. Thank you. Terry asks, curious about the percentage of male and female participants.
Very good question. Our male participants are a lot higher than our female participants. That is the way it is across esports, and that is not good. So we need to help change that. And I guess I ask all of our member school districts to make diversity and inclusion a very important factor towards your esports program. Promote it in a way that people feel comfortable coming into your room, no matter who might be in that location. Our research shows us that 50% of gamers are women. So they just need to feel comfortable in the space that you provide. And we need to do a better job in all of our programs locally to make sure that our girls feel comfortable in joining.
Nick, what makes Esports Ohio a better choice for school districts than high school esports league?
Great question. Great question. There's 3 reasons. Number one, we were founded because 2 of our members on our board played in HSEL, High School Esports League, and they were constantly getting forfeit losses and forfeit wins from other school districts. They were constantly having to deal with reschedules of teams that played in a California time zone that was 3 hours behind them. They were trying to reschedule on Sunday nights. They didn't know any of the schools that they were playing if they were lucky enough to get a match. You have to pay to play with HSEL. We are completely free. And HSEL does not require adult oversight of programs. So you have a lot more toxicity and toxic situations that you'll come up with, as opposed to having correct adult oversight of a program. So those are the kind of the 3 big things. We don't diss and we don't hate on any organizations. If you're competing in Play Versus and HSEL, we think it's great you're creating those opportunities for students. We just think that we provide the best environment for your students to be safe. We provide the local rivalries that you don't get in other leagues, and we structure it in a way that respects your time and your students' time. And we do it for free.
Well said. Tyler is asking about the Discord. Is that a requirement for students to use it?
It is a requirement for your captains to use it, because that is how they do their communication. Now, I understand that Discord can be a security issue and a safety issue from a SIPA compliance standpoint and from a student safety standpoint. There's no doubt about that. So if your school is against opening Discord, that is completely understandable, and we are completely cool with that. We just ask that your captains can communicate through the Discord channel using possibly a cell phone app, because they have a very good cell phone app that allows it, under the supervision of your teacher. Or remotely, if your coach does the communication, if you're not in session, that would be another way to do that. But the esports world, professionally and collegiately, Everything is done through Discord, and it is a great resource. And like all communication resources online, they can be used good or they could be used for evil. So as long as we do things the right way, our Discord server is monitored heavily by, we have 4 student mods now that are on it at all hours of day. So if anything, is posted badly, it gets flagged and the person gets banned immediately. So we do our best to keep that clean. But yes, Discord is a communication requirement for participation in the league.
Daryl just typed in here about how is cheating handled, aimbots, etc.
Good question. All cheating, most games that we play have an anti-cheat that's installed. So like, for example, in Valorant, they have a thing called Vanguard that has to be installed on your PC to run, or else the game won't load and it won't work. If there is any suspected cheating, that needs to be discussed between the coaches. We have cheating policies in all of our rules. If you go to our rules channel and click on Esports Ohio rules, we try and think about everything for toxicity. Let's look at cheating. See if I can find cheating here. There we go. So we've got a code of conduct for cheating, the expectations of match fixing. We have different rules that are going, but in a nutshell, all things that come up that are not covered in a rule needs to go through the program coach to the other program coach. The beginning of the year, we will provide a master sheet in our spring season. It is called a season master, and it will give all of the coaches' Discord information to all of the coaches, as well as all of the captain Discord information to all of the captains, so you can communicate to each other. So for example, as this loads, you can see our coach's contact info sheet. These are for the folks who have signed up already. We know that Coach Posek is the varsity coach for Bedford and Overwatch. So this is his contact information in Discord. So if anything goes south or you need to do communication, coaches can have a direct communication pipeline between each other. So you can say, hey, Coach P, our players notice that you're using aimbots. They're getting headshots every 5 seconds. This is not fair. What's going on? And then Coach Posek can say, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm sorry. I see that on my end. Or he can say, absolutely not. You're crazy. This is ridiculous, because, high school coaches would never try and cheat ever. I've never seen that in any other sport. So if something like that happens, when you report your match results, so at the end, there will be competition, report results. The winners of the team will pick their match. You'll play it out no matter whether there's cheating or not. And at the end of the submittal, just pick some random stuff here real quick. Who's the winning team? Who's the losing team? What conference are they in? And then right here, were there any problems with the match that could not be solved by the rules? If so, what? If this gets flagged, it sends an email to our rules committee. Our rules committee will follow up with both coaches, and then we will resolve the issue. We will investigate it. So it's always best to take screenshots if you see something, or to document anything that could be proven for cheating, because we want the league to maintain its integrity. So excellent question.
Great information. Tyler is adding on to the Discord conversation that we just had. Do you have a disclaimer for your program about inappropriate use of Discord?
We do. I will get that information out. Sometimes I get lost in our sea of resources that we have on here. We're going to repackage some of it, but we do have a student disclaimer that's built into our expectations. I'll try and find it for you real quick. It's part of our student esports contract terms. So it talks about respect and what standards you will be held up to, and our communication standards as well as when you sign up for our Discord, there are rules that they have to agree to before it will even let them in the server. So yes, we're covered twice.
I want to say thank you for Chad for placing the link to, I believe it was the High School Esports League curriculum, gaming concepts. I also
Got that
want
right here.
to, perfect. There you go. Thank you. Daryl asks about, is it okay to stream games to Twitch and YouTube?
Yes, and we recommend it for sure. It'll build your hype. It'll help build your brand for your program. Parents love to see their kids compete. It will also be a great resource to go back and review film, just like in football, to say, listen, you shouldn't have been feeding so hard in this situation. You need to lay back and, play more conservatively. And that's why you have so many, eliminations. So it's used as a powerful teaching tool. It helps teach broadcasting, shoutcasting, and skills to the students. So definitely, if you can, do it. Build that brand, and it'll promote more student interest for those other activities besides the gaming.
Nick, let me just ask you a question because it's something I wrote down. Do you feel that it's possible for a district who is looking to start a program with the window that we have now until the end of registration, which I believe is February 25th or February 20
Yeah,
something?
27th would be the absolute deadline. It's possible, but I wouldn't try and do anything too crazy. If you're gonna do that, it is possible, but I would pick one game, probably one or max two, that you want to compete in a pilot. And if you're unsure or you don't think you can pull it off, club is probably your best bet to do a trial run in to see how you do. Unless you just have rock stars in your school and you're like, oh my gosh, my kids are amazing.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen in a short period of time too. So it's possible.
Appreciate the outlook there. We have a question from Matt that says, how long did your iMacs survive when you first started?
They're still there. We don't use them anymore, but they're still there, and they still run Overwatch, so they still work. It's getting the job done. It took a lot of legwork to boot camp all of those, but they still work. They bought us a year and a half until we got the school district to allow us to spec and build our own machines.
Nick, could I backtrack a little bit to the, trying to get a team together in this season? If it was a club team, did you still need to register by the 26th and everything? Okay, I didn't know if club teams you were able to kind of come and go a little bit easier.
Now, we do schedules for club teams just like our varsity teams. So
Okay.
it's organized, it's down to the wire. We expect the same guidelines. It's just a lower competitive tier. So it's like if you're not high varsity level, you're just in it to have some competition for fun, but the expectations, requirements are still the same. Now, if you just want to casually scrim, you can do that without joining anything. You could just upload your participation agreement if you wanted to say, hey, we want to join Esports Ohio, but we're just not going to compete in the season yet. That's fine. Hop on the Discord, reach some schools around your area or not around your area. Just put feelers in those scrim channels and say, hey, we're new. Take it easy on us. Our firewall might not work. Can somebody help play us in Super Smash Bros. Today and test out some stuff? That's how everybody gets started.
And what did you say a district would need to do?
All they would have to
do that?
do, okay, all they would have to do is go to our homepage, click on join our Discord server. That will pop up an invite code that will then open up our Discord server. They will come into our Discord server, and it will take them to our page. It gives our rules. It gives us information on how to get a role and how to become a coach. And then when you're in here, if you look to the right, you'll see, okay, I'm an admin, I'm in here. We've got league directors and league committee members and moderators. If you message any of these folks here, just click on their name and say, hey, I'm a coach from so and so high school, looking to blah, 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 get involved. Then hit submit. One of our league directors will get you a role to become a coach. And then you'll have this wonderful channel right here called Coaches Only, where you can post information to other programs. So see right here, we got Coach McClellan from East Canton. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. He gives his email address. People ask questions in here all the time, how to get started. It's a great way to network. And if you want to officially join us, just as a school, just say, hey, we want to be part of ESO. We're not ready to compete. All you have to do is click join us up here. And there's one form. It is a membership application form that will be who's going to run your program, what school are you from, and then you have sign off from your building administrator. Fill that form out, scan it to a PDF, and then you can submit it right here. And then we'll be in contact with you to answer any questions that you have once the spring season craziness dies down.
Okay, and then you said you just kind of lay it all out there, or we're just starting this, and then the people kind of connect you with people that know that you might struggle a little bit, might not be the most competitive of a match, but they're willing to kind of bring you along with this.
Exactly. I would go to this coaches only channel. That is the hop-in place to go and just say, hey, I'm coach so-and-so from school, blah, blah, blah. And we would like to try to do a scrimmage. Is anybody around that will hold our hands and help us out with this? So many people are willing to help. It's unbelievable.
Very good. Thank you.
It's been a beautiful, beautiful experience.
I think that's the last of the questions, but I had one more for you, Nick, about the middle school pilot. Is there some way that you would want us or districts to kind of express interest in that, and what would be the preferred way?
Definitely. I'm going to check this because it just went live today. If you go to competition, middle school 2021, in here, we've got an application form that's separate for middle school. So if you fill this form out and upload it, Coach McClellan, who's in charge, will contact you and say, are you sure you're ready to do this? We've also got our middle school certification course, spring eligibility checklist that you could walk through if you want to compete. But the membership application starts the same way. It's just a separate link under competition at the bottom.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Do you want to share your email address potentially?
Yeah, for sure.
It's somewhere on the website.
It's just riderman@esportsohio.org. I just put it in chat. Go ahead and email me with any questions that you have. I will get those back to you as soon as possible. But like I said, to join the conversation and ask questions, I think it's a breath of fresh air actually to keep my esports comms separate. So that's why we use Discord for everything, because it's all in one location. So, and 9 times out of 10, if you have the same question, someone else already had it, and it's in here. So we can reference all of these notes as well. You can scroll back to the beginning of time. So
Now Nick, let's talk about one thing with the Discord server. Let's say you're in a district and you're not ready to move forward, but you wanted to get an idea of the conversations. You're able to join the Discord server and kind of just go into the coaches only and see what coaches are saying? Are you able to ask questions to say, listen, I'm just getting at the initial stages, asking questions of, hey, can anyone give me a pointer of how to do this? I know your website, the Esports Ohio website, has a wealth of information, but I didn't know if the Discord server was meant to be used like that as well.
it can be, for sure. When you come into the Discord server, when you join it, it takes you to this right here. And it will say right under step 8, coaches, please ping an admin for a tag, either a college or high school coach. These rules must be assigned by moderators or administrators. So just to keep our server clean and safe and to make sure coaches aren't impersonating being coaches, that's what I said. Reach out to one of us over here. We will give you that tag, whether you're an official school district or not. Then we'll probably ask for your email address, so your school email address, so we can verify that you are a coach, and then we will give you the coach's tag that opens up the channel.
Okay.
And you can do that with or without membership. That's fine. We're building a community more than we're building membership.
Any other questions for Nick? Nick, we thank you. We've got a lot of good feedback, and thanks in the chat here for your time with us today and the information that you've shared. And just, I mean, the website, the work that you're doing, your vision, your mission, I think that just kind of squares up with what we all pretty much believe in education. So thank you for that work.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Always love to create these opportunities for kids. You know, if I would have had these opportunities back when I was in high school, it would have been insane. I probably still would have got beat. The kids are still beating me now, so
Yeah.
but it would have been fun.
Well, I do thank you. I'm probably going to use the registration list for those who attended today to send out the presentation and links to the website that Nick's shared, as well as some relevant resources, just so that you have that available to you. All right.
Dick, thank you again for your time. Everyone, thanks you for attending.
Yeah.
You all have a good evening.
Thanks, everybody.